So grab bag time. The Bengals 9-4 going to Tampa Bay, where the Bucs are 6-7. Crystal ball. After this week ends, who will be in first place in the NFC South, with the Panthers hosting the Steelers and the Panthers making a push, and the Panthers have already beaten the Buccaneers? Who's in first place after this weekends?
It's a tough one. The Buccaneers, I'm picking them to lose. I mean, they're going to lose to the Bengals this weekend. All right, so let's just throw that out there right there. I mean, a spoiler for our picks podcast. I'm taking Joe Burrow and the Bengals over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. All right, but the other game's the one that is dicey. Carolina definitely playing better ball. Not much of a passing game, running game very good. Defense, Wilkes is simplified things and playing some schemes that make more sense for them, and it's allowed them to play fast, and the guys that we've talked about that are talented on there are really popping up that way. But damn, it's the Steelers. Oh gosh, Mike, they love to play that kind of game right there. And I really feel like if Kenny Pickett didn't get hurt last week, they're going to win the game. If Trubisky just doesn't throw the dumb interceptions, they're outplaying the Ravens. So I guess I'm still going to go with the Bucs, because I'm kind of feeling like the Steelers will win one of that ugly football game that you talk about so much.
So you've tipped your hand twice now.
I don't know what to do. It's a grab bag, and you're asking me crystal ball, and what the hell am I supposed to do? My crystal ball says I can't freaking talk about it because I got a podcast after this.
The bottom line is the Buccaneers are going to have their hands full against the Cincinnati Bengals, and I think that blowout leaves a mark. And they still think, I believe, they can lose this one and still win the division. They can pull it together late. I feel like that's been the vibe with the Buccaneers all year long.
Yeah, exactly.
They only focus when they feel like they absolutely positively have to. And they don't feel like they have to absolutely positively focus this week. And in comes a better team, and they can lose this one and still pull it together and win the division. And people would still think that at the end of the day they will. And of the teams in the NFC South, I think they're the best suited to win in the postseason.
Yeah, I hear you there.
Tom Brady has 47 career playoff games under his belt. Patriots 7-6. Raiders 5-8. New England stayed out in Arizona this week after playing Monday night against the Cardinals. They're in Las Vegas on Sunday. Fill in the blank. Josh McDaniels, coach of the Raiders, can top his former team and mentor Bill Belichick if the Raiders what, Chris?
Well, I think the thing I would probably look at is if the Raiders can just stop the Patriots' run game. I think they'll have a good chance to make things very interesting, because we know that that's just the first thought that comes to my head. But we know that the Patriots' pass game is not ultra explosive, and they're not amazing pass protecting team. And they got some pass rushers over there with the Raiders that are pretty damn good here. And I think that's probably the thing I look at. But McDaniels is going to understand the defensive scheme and how they're coached on that side of the ball, and I would think he can make life interesting as far as their offense versus the Patriots' defense. It's just the Raiders' defense we know is not super talented, and we've seen some teams kind of move them around at times.
Yeah, I just, I don't understand the Raiders, and I'm not even going to try to understand the Raiders.
Yeah.
They win 3 in a row, and before that they lose to a coach who just showed up 5 days earlier, and after that they lose to a quarterback who showed up 2 days earlier. There's just these momentary lapses that take down the whole operation, like the defensive approach to the final drive last Thursday night. Like, what the hell are they thinking? I just feel like there's too many of those what the hell are they thinking moments by the Raiders. 4 games this year where they have blown leads of 13 or more points, tying 3 other teams as the only teams who have ever done that. So they say they've got 4 games left to do it again, build a 13-point lead and blow it. We'll see if they do it on Sunday against the New England Patriots. But you know what? The Patriots sense that they don't have an easy stretch the rest of the way. But, they build a little confidence coming out of that Monday night game, and they stay out there. They bond a little bit, and it feels like a playoff game, and it's got that
Right.
that Belichick, McDaniels. It's, we've seen that before. We've seen it with Matt Patricia, who beat Belichick.
So did McDaniel when he was in Denver.
Yeah.
I was there.
That was huge.
Right.
That was they were they wearing those funky old uniforms?
Yes, we
that
were.
Day?
Yes, those brown
God,
and
those
yellow
were
ugly
ugly.
things.
Oh my
right.
God,
no doubt.
With vertical stripes on the socks.
And here's the key to the game, Mike. Here's the funniest thing about it. McDaniel, was always, nobody, Josh McDaniels, of course, always praises Bill Belichick. And, hey, we're not going to outthink Bill. Like, we're not going to outsmart him or do that. And all of a sudden, Thursday, he comes in and he's like, I think I got something here. And if you remember the game, we lined up in Wildcat like probably 30 times, 25 times during the football game, because he knew that they would automatically check to another defense, and then Kyle Orton would come back and be the quarterback, move the Wildcat, Noshawn Marino, back over to running back, and now we knew what coverage they were in because they had this automatic check they got to, and we gave them fits that day. And that was, a great example of an ex-coach knowing, the other team and finding that one thing that, I know they're going to do this, and using it against them. And we'll see if maybe one of these guys can do that to each other in this matchup.
That was the Belichick adjustment to the 2008 game against the Dolphins when they got burned by Ronnie Brown and the Wildcat, 35-13, I think.
Exactly right. Exactly right.
That's what sparked the whole Wildcat.
Yes.
Whole that for 4 years.
Yes.
It was Wildcat, and that started the read option stuff. It was that one game.
Yep.
David Lee kind of pulled that. The Dolphins were desperate. They had worked on it a little bit in training camp, and they were like, what the hell is this? Who's going to run this? They didn't even know who was going to run it. Ronnie Brown's like, yeah, I can throw the ball. And, so McDaniels was there.
That was there. And then the next year was he went to Denver. So he knew it was very fresh as far as the conversation and knowing what they were going to do the next time they saw Wildcat. And, that was, one of those under-the-radar cool things about, an NFL nuance and getting a victory there.
Titans-Chargers, both are 7-6. Titans have lost, I think, 3 in a row. Have they lost 3 in a row? They've lost 3 in a row. They haven't won since they beat the Packers that Thursday night a month ago.
Right.
Take your pick. Who needs this one more, Tennessee or L.A.?
I guess I tend to go in L.A. here, just because Tennessee, of course, has, like we talked about with the Bucs, they still have the divisional win aspect, on their radar. And of course, they're in control of that. I heard a little last week that they lost to Jacksonville, but they do play them again. So, they'll get another chance there where, the Chargers they're in the cluster of like the Jets, the Patriots themselves, the Miami Dolphins here, where, they got to win to make sure they're not canceled out with some of these other football teams. So I think they're the more desperate team.
I agree with you, but my God, the Titans at some point need to do something. They need to get a win.
Right.
Because it is setting up. Remember, they're 2 games up for now on Jacksonville.
Yep.
But if it's a 1-game spread, Week 18, Jacksonville wins, they tie, and Jacksonville has the tiebreaker because they will have had
the victory
sweep at that point. And it's Chargers, Texans. The Titans should win that one. Thursday night, Week 17, the last Thursday night game of the year, is Cowboys at the Titans, which should be a great game, a big test for Tennessee, and then it's that Week 18 game at Jacksonville. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.